Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one and only Turbo Toad token. Now, look. Once again, a nice, unique partnership, a nice, unique collab. We can see, welcome to the PAL Millie. Awkward to say, not going to lie, it's awkward to say, but excited to provide a custom AI agent into the Turbo community, right? Launched with just $69, AI inspired, vibrant community has evolved from a digital art experiment into a symbol of creative innovation and Web3 empowerment. Hashtag adoption. Facts, literally facts. That's what I'm saying. This coin is not just a meme coin anymore. It's in the AI sector. It's in the Web3 sector. It is in the gaming sector, the metaverse sector. I mean, its partnerships are here and there. I mean, there's so many things. There's so many different narratives, exchanges, and collaborations and partnerships we're with. And it still only seems like this is the beginning, right? It still only seems because every single time that I personally think, like, what else can Turbo do other than maybe Robinhood, maybe another exchange, maybe one more thing. They never fail to impress, right? There's always something happening with this coin, despite so many achievements already, right? And we can see, right? This is good exposure. 18,000 views roughly in 24 hours, 100K followers, right? 100K followers. So that is good, right? And we can see this page consistently gets, 11 to 13,000 on average. They hit 30,000 here. So this is more views. This is more eyes on something like Turbo. And I'm sure there's going to be future posts from Palmind that they're talking about Turbo. So it's just more exposure. And then when crypto does blow up, when the world starts to bandwagon slowly over the next few months, you will see engagement start rising. We are partnered with a lot of different coins. We are in a lot of different games. We are in a lot of different metaverses. So there's going to be a lot of Twitter pages tweeting about Turbo, and we're going to be getting, tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands of views per post during the hype, during the buildup. And that's going to cause more bandwagon onto a coin like Turbo. They know what they're doing. I am very, very impressed by this coin continuously, providing value for us, right? Continuously providing value for us. We can see that we're 112,000 followers, right? Pretty solid. We are growing slowly. Now, let's dive into the technical analysis. Actually, before we dive into the technical analysis, let's look at some of the basics just for roughly 30 seconds. We can see we are ranked 162 in the world, 0.0041 price, 287 million market cap, right? Roughly 50 million in volume, which is not bad considering it's a weekend, right? It is actually very, very good volume considering that it is the weekend. Now, if we go and look at something like the holders, we can see that, we have hit over that 56,000 mark. We kind of have flatlined a little bit, but that's okay. That is okay because we are still consistently growing. And ladies and gentlemen, I expect this coin to do very, very well this cycle. You know me, I'm a big fan of Turbo. I will continue to cover this coin until, it's no longer relevant for you guys, right? The main destination with Turbo for me is getting to the highs, selling it, and then of course keeping it updated to see, if we are going to be getting that second big pump during the peak and euphoria of Bitcoin and crypto, right? Last time we did have two cycles, we did have two altcoin cycles. So if a similar opportunity presents, we will definitely be covering this coin for sure until the second pump happens, then after the dump, and then we'll see what's happening in the next 1 to 2 years at that point, right? But I can guarantee you, until then, we will cover this coin every single damn day. Now, look, right? Price action has been very unique. It has been fairly slow, but that's not a bad thing. It's been very, very fundamental, which is very important. When a coin starts becoming more and more fundamental, especially near certain bottoms, it is indicating that it does not want to come back to this price point at any time, right? At any time. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when we did this hardcore pump, we did something very, very, you know, a thing that's not really that fundamental. We pumped an insane amount in 2 days, leaving a lot of imbalance, leaving for us to get, filled up and, retested of this big zone, right? From this big zone. And look, we have a little bit of imbalance over here. I highly doubt that we will fill that up. I would be extremely, extremely surprised, right? We did fundamentally build this whole zone too, right? Over here, right? This was the last of the imbalance. And you can see the moment we filled it up, right? Came back to down to this sector, we started to reverse. Why? Because it shows that Turbo never wants to go back to that coin. If there is a fake out, which I would be really, really surprised, then there is a possibility that we do have some kind of hardcore crash, looking to take out liquidity, going back down to 0.0023, and in a very quick reverse to the upside, fundamentals again, and then going up. Now, that is a unlikely scenario in my opinion, but we will monitor it, right? The reason why we even hypothetically consider that is because, ladies and gentlemen, right, despite us going up fundamentally for the last few weeks, which is what we love to see, the weekly candles don't look the most convincing. I won't lie, right? They kind of look very similar to what happened over here, right? Where we kind of started to recover and then we had a fake out sell. And then again, we started to recover slowly for 2 weeks. And then we just said, all right, go, 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 go. Okay, go, go, go. For me, at the end of the day, does it matter what really happens? No, for me, it doesn't. As of right now, we have zero, and I once again repeat, zero confirmation that that will happen. As of right now, we are still bullish, right? We fundamentally have been going up the last few days, right? Boom, we had these lows, double bottoms, continuously making higher and higher lows. And then we retested off a very big zone, right? 0.0046, like we talked about. Okay. Look, as of right now, we are still fine because, yes, even though we did go down, this is the last, low. And this low is higher than this one, right? So we're still on track, right? Despite us being a little janky, a little, not looking the best on the weekly, we're still technically on track. There's still zero big signs and zero confirmation that we are going to be heading down. Okay. We also do have this trend line support over here, right? If we do something like this, so we have this trend line. Now, usually, historically, I will say trend lines like this don't really hold, right? When something goes like this and this and this, all right? Because there is some type of liquidity to be grabbed. Okay, there is some type of liquidity to be grabbed. But you also have to remember last time we had something very, very similar where we are kind of in a similar type of trend, right? But then we just kind of shot up. What I would really like to see next week is a huge burst of momentum, right? A huge burst of momentum to the upside would mean that we would respect this trend over here, right? We would respect this trend over here, and we would be looking to be going above 0.0046, right? Once we do go above this, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we will, continue to go higher and higher to the next relevant zones, being, right, being 0.0055. And of course, these all, not all-time highs necessarily, but these last relevant highs of 0.0065, right? This would be the main area. These would be the main areas where we kind of bounce off of. Like I said, as of right now, zero confirmation. Just something we, could hypothetically see if we do crash below. But as of right now, we are expecting to continuously go up. I will say something like Bitcoin is in a very interesting position, right? If you watch my previous video, highly recommend it. But we are at a big resistance for Bitcoin. Bitcoin has two options. either for another cycle, we respect this big resistance, the biggest one we have, because it is, touching all the cycle tops and it's touched multiple times, right? So either we respect this for a final time and then we start going down below over the next few months, or, ladies and gentlemen, we kind of do chill around these all time highs, right? We kind of start going sideways for a little bit and try to burst up, right? Once Bitcoin bursts up and it's not a fake out above this 120K zone and it respects it, it can fly as high as it wants because it will turn the biggest resistance into a support. And that would give us the go light to just kind of just continue to skyrocket over the next few short months, right? Which would mean Turbo would fundamentally recover a lot. And that's even just before altcoin season. Remember, our time is not yet. Our time is not yet. Until we see this chart start crashing a couple percent and then start going sideways, something very similar that happened back in the beginning of January of 2021, right? Until we see a big sell-off and then sideways movement, there is zero confirmation that Turbo will be going up very, very high and very quickly over the next couple of weeks. If anything, it's going to be more slow and fundamental. We're going to be seeing more consistent, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12% day pumps, as well as those types of dips. But that's okay, because if we are going to be going up fundamentally over the next couple of few short weeks, let's say, that's not a bad thing. That just means it's going to be ready to explode once we do get to where we need to be. And I do think we will kind of be going up fundamentally for the most part up until all-time highs. And I think once we get to all-time highs, that's probably where altcoin season is going to actually start getting initiated. And that's when we're going to start seeing Turbo break out. Now, if we get to all-time highs before, right, before Bitcoin dominance starts breaking, then once Bitcoin dominance starts breaking, we will have a nice double pump where we go up a lot, eventually sell off a decent amount, nothing crazy, go sideways, but then we will have the ultimate pump, right? And I'm talking about the 4-week pump. We will see Turbo go to extreme numbers that you can never imagine. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.